You're here because you're thinking about buying in the Austin market. Maybe you're thinking about selling. This impacts you as well. Let's talk about public school ratings. Super important to all buyers, especially if you have kids, but even to those people that don't have kids, because there's so many people that this is important to. You got to be thinking about what's going on with schools when it comes to resale value. And I think this is definitely one of the areas that if you're looking at buying in the Austin area, you got to keep an eye on as more people continue to move here, families continue to grow. And I'm seeing it amongst my friends as they start to have kids, school districts just becomes more and more important. And a lot of my clients right now, the conversations we're having, we really love our neighborhood, but we got to get in a better school district.
So David, before we dig into this article, I'd like to give a shout out to the Community Impact website. They really do a great job on granular news reporting on what's going on around the Austin metro. A lot of the information that we research, we find some great information in the Community Impact family of publications. And when I saw this, I knew that it would be a topic of great interest. So we're going to let the article do the work, just kind of go through, pull out some facts, and then actually look at some of the new ratings for the school districts in Austin.
And in addition to the website that they have, I get this in my inbox at every property I've ever lived in Austin. And one of the cool things I've seen, I've lived at 5 different zip codes or something in Austin, and every time this is tailored to my area. So they've got I don't know, probably over a dozen of these different community impact papers across the region. And it's just a really good way to stay in touch with some of the things that are going on. Diving into the article. So they have an A through F scale. Anybody that's been through the American education system, you know how this thing works, right? So 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, and so on down. The interesting thing that they've decided to do this year is that anything below a 70 is unrated.
The main thing that does matter is that we've got some updated metrics on how to evaluate not only school districts, but specific schools and campuses. Really valuable information for our buyers who are trying to decide between various neighborhoods and communities. Let's break down the numbers a little bit, and then we'll take a look at some of the more popular school districts in Austin and see how their current ratings came out.
A's went from in 2019, 25% up to 33% in 2022. So we can see an increase. And there's the jump between the years because this is the first time in 3 years. So remember that since the pandemic started. And then we got a decrease in the number of B's. And this is for school districts. I'll show you the campus chart in a second. And then a decrease in the C's, decrease in the D's, and then the F's are slightly up. A good number of districts switching from the F, D, C range and B over to the A's. That's a good sign. When you look at the campuses, the trend is similar. So this is individual schools, except there's more B's and there's way less F's. So again, shifting over from the 70 or actually 79 and lower over to the 80 plus range on the scoring scale.
Yeah, and if you interpret that delta between the two charts, which are essentially you're saying the same thing, that the trend is going towards higher quality education, but you look at the disparity between the campuses and the districts, it's basically saying that there's some districts that are pulling the numbers down. So David, we're going to now switch to the texasschools.gov website, just take a look at some of the functionality that they're offering. And you can see that on the left there, you're typing in the Eanes School District.
Yeah, starting with Eanes, best school district in the region, and if not the state. I bought a property in Eanes about 6 years ago, kind of forward thinking, maybe I want to have a kid, and I better have a property in Eanes, buy it now before prices get too out of hand. So glad I did that. Property has done well. And still, if people can afford Eanes, this is generally the place that they want to be. So here we see AISD, the largest school district in the area, total enrollment 71,000. So now we're looking at all the schools in Eanes. There's 10 in total, mostly elementary schools, 2 middle schools, 1 main high school, which is Westlake. And we got A's across the board, ranging from 91 all the way up to a 98 for Westlake High School. And you can see how this is broken down between student achievement, academic growth. So it lagged a little bit there in its rating. That seems to be the lowest score, relative performance, and then closing the gap.
Closing the gap essentially is improving over the weak areas year over year for the school.
So we're going to start comparing districts here. So we're going to search for Eanes and see if we can add it here. Boom, got Eanes. Let's add AISD. So for those of you moving from out of state, if you're not familiar with the terminology here, often you'll hear EISD, AISD, RRISD. Those are just the abbreviations for Round Rock, RR, Independent School District, ISD. All right, so we're going to compare districts. So here we've got their overall rating. Not surprising, Eanes, the best school district, known to be the best school district in Central Texas, if not the whole state. Overall accountability rating higher than the other two. So this is, I guess, the number of students that are approaching grade level or above, meets grade level or above, master's grade level or above, academic growth. So you can see some of those stats. And I think more important would probably be to compare Round Rock to AISD. It's doing a little bit better. So, I think this is where people tend in AISD get down to the campus level. And so you'd probably want to compare, and this gets into price point. If you're a buyer, it's like, okay, well, first of all, how much can you afford? Because yes, you might want to be in Eanes, but if $1 million being the entry point there is not something you can afford, then you got to start looking at other school districts. And depending on what you're looking for, often people will start going out to Lakeway, or they might go up to Leander. All right, so what we would do is sit down with a buyer and we'd say, all right, what's your budget? So in this case, we went up to 1.3 million. You need 4 bedrooms. And we'd look at what areas of town would potentially work for them. We can even come in here, let's say they have elementary school kids, and we can start to look at which elementary schools. Now it's getting a little bit busy, right, with all these elementary school lines. But you can see in this price point, maybe they really wanted to be in Eanes, but they're not going to be in Cedar Creek. They're not going to be in Eanes Elementary. Couple options to Forest Trail. So we could potentially put that for comparison just to see, not a lot of options. Oak Hill Elementary is an option. And this is, let's just say they want to stay out west. Potentially go be in Eanes here at Valley View. So that's an option. And then we got Lakeway Elementary and Serene Hills being the next one that way. So let's just take a look. Let's say that was you as a buyer, you're thinking, I'm going to compare a couple of these different things. So we're going to go to schools. We're going to go to elementary. School 1, we said was Forest Trail. School 2, we could say maybe Valley View. Then we come out this way. We're going to go Lakeway. And here we go. So all of these rated an A. You can see that approaches grade level or above, a little bit higher in Forest Trail. Total enrollment, you can see the teacher count. So Valley View doing the best there, number of students per teacher ratio. And so you can get a little bit of an insight. Maybe you say, all right, well, I think Forest Trail is probably out of reach for us. So we're going to get rid of that one. And we're going to swap that with the other one we were looking at, which is Serene Hill. So let's go look at Serene Hill. Give you some stats. You can see Valley View still the leader here. Between Serene Hills and Lakeway Elementary, they're pretty much neck and neck. I don't know. As a parent, I'd probably, that's a to me, either one. There are sites like niche.com. Find the school that fits you best. So we can go to K through 12 here. So let's just say we went to Westlake High School. So you can see how it ranks in each of these different things. And based on what's important to you as a parent, you can use that to help determine. So here we go. We got 500 reviews. Pretty cool to see what parents are actually saying on a site like this. So this is an additional resource I'd highly recommend checking out.
The news today is the TEA put out their new ratings. We're sharing some of the functionality that we use when we're working with buyers, with kids, trying to sort out which school is best. And, David, I think regardless of the technology, it always tracks back to the fundamentals. And so when I'm working with growing families, it's not just looking online, but you know what? Get out there, take a look at the school, walk the campus, introduce yourself to the principal, find out what's going on and if it's a good fit.
We have clients that have kids in some of these different schools. And so what we are happy to do with our current clients is, oh, you're thinking about this school? You want to talk to a parent? Great, we have a connection with somebody there that we can introduce you to. A lot of our clients are entrepreneurs. So schools like Acton, which is really popular, and the different Acton schools, we have parents that have students at those schools. And so if you're interested in maybe potentially talking to one of those parents, go ahead, schedule in the comments. There's a link to schedule a call with us. We could talk about your goals and if working together is the right decision. And if it is, we'd be happy to make those introductions and see if we can help you on this journey, because this is obviously, to any parent, is a super important decision. The kids are most important thing to them. They want to make sure they have a good education, and we totally get that. And so this is a really big factor that comes into play. There's a lot of parents that they really like to dive deep into these stats. So we wanted to show you some of these resources that you could use on your own to go look at what's going on with the different schools. And we have a lot of tools, like you saw. We can map things based on school district. We can only send you specific school districts if you say, hey, these are the only school districts I want to look at. We're working with a lot of busy people, whether they're entrepreneurs, executives, and we want to make this easy on you. And so we can help do that by you say, okay, these are the schools that fit our criteria. We only want to see homes that fit those schools. And we make it really simple.
Yeah, you're not just buying a home, not just investing in a lifestyle. You're creating a future for your family, and we understand that. And we take that responsibility very seriously, and we're excited to help.
Again, schedule a call with us in the description. If you got a lot of this video, go ahead and like it so other people can check it out. And go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.